Hello and welcome to the Detailing Doctor. Today, on this episode, we have a 225 BAM Quattro. This is a very different video today. We're going to be doing a full series on this car, doing a minor mechanical restoration and a minor cosmetic restoration. The car, I've been told, is number 4 off the line. It's an early TT. As I say, it's a 225 BAM Quattro, so it was sort of, I say the top end one, there wasn't the higher one, which was a 240 brake, although they are quite rare. So this is my friend Kathy's car. We're going to be performing quite a bit of work on it over the course of the next year. And we thought, what a great opportunity to sort of put this on our YouTube channel and show people what we're capable of restoring these noughties future classics. So we're going to go over shortly all the sort of blatant issues with this car. We're obviously going to find more things with it as we go along over the course of the year, and we will share everything as we go along. There is a couple of little minor things that have been done, as Kathy has needed to use the car in the meantime, so we've had to keep it sort of in a running state. So a couple of bits have been missed that won't be caught on camera, such as the rocker cover gasket, because it's leaking quite badly, and the cam chain still. However, I will link in the video description, if not this one of the other ones, a channel where you can find that. But for today, we're going to show you around everything wrong with the car, along with, I say a minor service, probably a little bit more than most people have done a minor service, but yeah, we're going to show you it anyway. So yeah, let's have a quick look over the car if you want to come forward please with the camera. So, everything wrong with the TT. Now, this might look a nightmare at first, but I promise you it isn't. The engine cover's just been taken off. This monstrosity, as people call it, this is the N249 system. It basically controls, it's a fail-safe, really, for if you get into an overboost situation. Some people say to delete it, but if you're not really up on exactly how it works, which Kathy isn't, I wouldn't recommend deleting it. This one's sort of hanging about at the minute because I have just changed the coil pack on this car. It is normally supported by this bracketry here, which these bolts that go through, which are 5mm Allen, if I'm not mistaken, sort of go around the coil packs. This all sits on top, along with your vacuum reservoir. So all that does, as I say, if you get into an overboost situation, this takes pressure from the inlet manifold, feeds it over to the diverter valve and activates it to prevent you from overboosting. So it's very rare that you get into that problem, but yeah, as I say, if you're not completely up on it and you're not going to constantly be checking for vacuum leaks, avoid it. What we've done so far on this car, as I said, I've done one of the coil packs. I have recommended to Kathy to do all 4, which it is something we're going to do, but where they're all fine for the minute and there is, you know, quite a bit of money to be spent on the rest of the car, we're going to leave that be for now. We've replaced this breather here for a new one, along with this pipe. As I follow this pipe further down, it is actually, if you want to come forward with the camera, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to see, but actually, just in front of my finger there is a split pipe. Just try to get the focus on. You can pretty much see it there, look. And that basically connects to this pipe coming up. Now, that controls everything to do with this. If there's a leak there, this essentially isn't working. It's not doing anything, which it should be. And it vents the crankcase pressure out of here, so you're not getting sort of pressure building up in there and it blowing all your gaskets out, and it just routes it back into the intake to be burnt off on the combustion cycle. So there's not too much more in here. I suspect we might have a slight injector seal leak because we do have a slight smell of fuel. Nothing wet, so not immediate, but it is something we are going to be investigating in the future. We suspected a bad battery, but that's all sorted now after running the car for a bit. We're going to do a full oil service on it today with engine flush, as these are renowned for the pickup pipe getting blocked. So this is going to flush all the crap out the oil galleys and stuff like that. And I've recommended for Kathy to run it on the 540, as this engine is on 184, nearly 185,000 miles. Things are going to be a little bit more warm. However, when I did the rocker cover gasket, the cam and the buckets, tappet buckets, are absolutely like immaculate. There's not even scoring on them or anything, so it seems to be a really good engine. We're going to do a video on the service history. We'll find out a little bit more why that might be in the future. What else is wrong with this car? So, as all of them, it does have vacuum leaks. Mostly have been sorted, as you've seen some of the red silicone hoses on there. We're just going to run around to the back of the car quickly now to show you the next items that really needs to be dealt with. Is the rear brakes. I don't know if Elise can get the camera in there and you can see the state of those discs. They're going to be replaced with Brembo items, with new pads. We're going to show you how to do that. We are going to be doing the front brakes as well, just so they're matching Brembo items. They don't look in bad condition. They're in really good nick. There's hardly any, there's a little bit of a lip on there, but nothing. Normally you chuck another set or two of pads on there. Pads have got plenty of meat. However, upon braking, there's quite a wobble through the steering wheel, which suggests to me immediately that there's a warp disc on this. Now, if there was no lipping on them, I'd suggest resurfacing them, but for the sake of 80 quid for a set of front Brembos, just replace them brand new. You know, you're gonna have no worries, and you know you've got really good quality brakes on there. Also, I will grab the camera from Elise and save her bending down. At the minute, we have a very botched repair. Previous repair on the exhaust. Now, I will get under the car later and give you a better view of this when I actually fix it shortly. But basically what they've done, there's a rotten section of exhaust to the left, a rotten section of exhaust to the right. They've clamped the two pieces of rot together. Well, not even clamped it together. They've put a clamp on either end of the rot and then just exhaust pasted it together, which has now all fallen off and left with this. Now, my solution to that, because the actual silencer, mid-silencer and cats are fine. If you want to grab the camera again. Give Kath would be expensive replacing all the stuff that's fine and it's not rotten. An actual piece of 2.5 inch exhaust section with the flared end. So what that will do is, that will slide over the end to the front of the car with the cats. We'll put an exhaust clamp on there. This end will butt up to the end that is rotten, but we're going to chop that out with an angle grinder back to where the metal is good, hence why this is a lot longer than you think the gap is. This is going to go in its place, butt up to that, you know, butt to butt, and a sleeve on there with some exhaust paste. And that's going to be good as new and save Kathy maybe, well, a new midsection was going to be 60 quid, a new cat section for an aftermarket cat, which we won't go into that in this video, but even the cheapest option was going to be 180 quid. That was £11. I could probably buy new clamps, but that sleeve, because it's been done within the last few months, we're going to reuse that sleeve, save the 20 quid, because there's nothing wrong with it. I will have to get a clamp for this side, because I don't have one to hand, and I didn't have one in stock at ECP when I went today. Other than that, there's not loads wrong with it. There's a few things that are a bit like iffy, and we'll get more into as the series goes on. There's a few bits of wiring loom, for example on the coil packs, the connectors are all split. In fact, let's have a look. Let's just show you. Bring the camera in here. I'll just push this heat shielding back. The wires are starting, the shielding's coming away on them, and if they touch each other, it can short out and it's going to cause all sorts of problems. These connectors are all shattered and broken. So these are all going to get replaced. We've got a full engine loom coming to us from someone on one of the Audi TT forums. So that's going to address that and any other skeptical bits of wiring, because there's also, we have an ABS issue on this car. Now, the ABS pump's been replaced, the ABS module's been replaced, the yaw sensor's been replaced, it's had all sorts replaced. However, on the brake fluid reservoir on the cap, you have a little sensor to say whether it's got fluid or not, and the wire on that is just chopped completely to the plug. So we're going to get another one of those, probably from scrapyard. Just a bit of wire and a plug at the end of the day. We're going to solder that properly and put proper heat shielding on it, and yeah, that should be good to go. If that doesn't solve the ABS issue, what we're going to do is I'm then going to plug it into VAGCOM, and we're going to run some logs as we drive, and what that's going to show is we can log the wheel speed sensors, and we can find out which one's got variance in it more than it should do. Obviously, as you turn around a corner, an inner wheel goes slower than an outer wheel, or vice versa. Probably got it the wrong way around. But yeah, there's going to be so much variance. So one of them's really out of whack, or it's just completely cutting out at some point. We know that's the issue. That's the last thing it can be, because pretty much everything else has been done on this. There's no vacuum leaks on the braking side of things. So yeah, that's it. As I say, you'll probably find some of the little niggles as well. Oh, one last thing. The sills, you've probably noticed. They're all matte at the bottom. That's not factory. That's because this car's got rotten sill plates. And I mean, they're properly rotten. Not so much here, but on the passenger side, you can literally push it and you can hear it just crunching away. You can see towards the back here. Really? Yeah, if you come over here, you can see here. All here and all on the inner here is just completely rotten. And on the inner, just get the camera to focus, as you can see, like here, that's just rotten. So we're going to get some new ones of these, pull them off, clean up what's underneath, put some rust preventer, paint and prime what we need to underneath, and get some new sills painted and put on. Now that's it, and that will pretty much get this car to a solid running state. It'll be better than probably 80% of them on the road. But yeah, let's crack on for now, and we'll show you how to do the rear brakes.